It is a Wednesday after all, and we've taken a self-development focus this afternoon. Right now, though, we're catching up with Nzikin Kize, who is really a businesswoman, what do you call yourself? A professional life coach. I mean, what is the designated title?
Because I'm a founder of a business, I literally just call myself a chief social entrepreneur, because for me that encapsulates all
so
the
much.
impact stuff that we do.
Okay. Chief social entrepreneur. All
Yeah.
right. Okay, I'll go with that one. Thank you so much for coming through and for sharing some insights with us. We're talking all things mentorship.
Yes.
Okay. It's always interesting for me because I think especially this time of the year, we like to talk about mentorship, the importance of mentorship, but I think a lot of people actually are not in relationships where there is a mentor-mentee
Yes.
for one reason or another. What are you finding?
100%. So first I want to say hello to you, because this is the first time I'm seeing you, and hi to all of our listeners. So I want to start off first, with what is a mentor, right?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of us kind of go like, I just need someone to help me. And a quote that I really like by John C. Crosby is, he says that a mentor is a brain to pick, an ear to listen, and a push in the right direction. So you need to have somebody like that. If you kind of think about you getting to your goals, and your goals on the other side of the forest, and you're kind of in the thick of it, and mentor's that person, the helicopter that can go, okay, no, turn left, turn right, there's a ditch over there, try this, try that. And you need those people, and I think when you're in a corporate space, or whether you're an entrepreneur, it's very important to find those mentors to support you on your journey. And then equally important to a mentor is being able to find yourself sponsors.
Because there's a difference.
100%.
And I learned this at, there's many women brunches that we tend to have around August, that there's a difference between having a mentor, a sponsor, and an advocate.
Yes.
And, they all
And a
play
coach.
And a coach.
Yeah.
And they all play different roles.
100%. So if you are, and I think people have the same level of nervousness, and I suppose maybe having a sponsor is more high stakes, but you have to find it, right? So the difference between a mentor and a sponsor is that a mentor is somebody you might see once a month, once a quarter, and catch up for coffee and, have those debrief conversations. Whereas a sponsor is somebody you might see once a year, and maybe you never see them. Maybe you guys just communicate over email. But a sponsor is that person that's going to say, put Bridget on the project. A sponsor is that person when they're in a meeting, they will say, oh, Bridget's really good at this. Have you thought about her company, or have you thought about her? So you need to find those people that will put you on to something when you want to be part of a project, or when you know that you want your career to progress in that direction, or when you want your business to move into a certain space. And advocates are people who might not necessarily have the power to open the door for you, but they can advocate for you when you're not in the room. So people that will go, yes, Bridget does really good work and she's fantastic and we like working with her. So people who, kind of do your PR for you when you're not around, but have good things to say, because that word of mouth, that level of referral makes a huge difference. Different to an advocate, a sponsor is also someone that can help you figure out how to get through the door. So a sponsor is that person that's honest enough to say to you, this proposal's not good enough, change 1, 2, 3, and the board can consider it. And then you can kind of chat to them behind the scenes as they move you forward. Whereas a mentor is that person where you go, I'm really struggling with my confidence, or I don't know how to negotiate, or I'm really struggling in, insert area of your life, and they can help you bridge that gap.
Yeah. Now, how does one go about finding these people? Because already it's a lot just trying to isolate someone who just ticks the one box, mentor. And I heard someone was so brutal many years ago. They said, a mentor doesn't necessarily have to be your best friend, your big sister.
Not
you
at all.
don't have to have that relationship with them. It can be a very pragmatic relationship. It doesn't. We're not sitting and kikiing about
not at all.
Your broken heart.
I simply care about your progress, and I have your best interest at heart. And if it means telling you to get your stuff together, I will tell you, hopefully in a gentle way, but I'm honest enough to tell you, and that's what you want. Too many times we have an echo chamber around us of people who are just wanting to, stroke us and make you feel comfortable. And you want those people that'll tell you, you're not playing up to your potential. You're not doing the best that you can. And if you change 1, 2, 3, you can get there. So when you answer the question of, where do you find these people? Easy place is on social media. So go online. If you are specific about your industry, and you know where you want to go in your career. So I often say to people, look at your friends and family circles, right? So you never know who works where.
Yeah.
So ask people like, hey, hey, 6 degrees of separation, we all know,
two in
you know what I
this
mean? Right? So somebody that knows someone that can be a good mentor. Look at your industry overall, so search companies, Google companies that are in your industry. Look at your workplace, so not just your division, but who else is in the same building or who's in the same company but at a different branch. And then in general, in these lists that are published about top female this and top that, find people on those lists and you can send them a message on LinkedIn to say, hey, I'm looking for a mentor. Could I get your email address so I can send you some information? I don't know how many companies still have a secretary that will answer the phone, but you can try your luck and call reception and say, hey, I'm looking for Bridget's email address. Like, how do I get a hold of her? But those people are in our circles, and it's just us having the courage to ask. So I remember I had one of my first few jobs was in a startup that was sort of medium sized, so it was close enough to see the CEO, and really just walking into his door and saying, hey, I know I want to run my own company one day. Can I grab you for a coffee from time to time just to pick your brain on a couple of things? And I'm so amazed how often people are willing to agree just for you to pick their brain, so it doesn't have to be very formalized. I mean, some instances definitely. So from a growing your profession perspective, you want to set up, a process of, this is what I'm working on. I'm going to see you in 6 weeks and then I'll have this update and then we'll do that. But other mentors are people that you can touch base with from time to time, and they can kind of reflect a mirror back at you and let you see how you're doing.
Right. And it really, and you said, Ntiki, it really does not necessarily have to be somebody within your industry, because you are perhaps looking for the skill and the cheat sheet, and someone else
might have that.
it.
Yes.
And who knows, it might be even more beneficial for you to learn from someone else in a completely different sector.
100%. And it's not just professionally. So oftentimes we kind of isolate ourselves to our workspace and our family space. But if you kind of think about your life being a life pie, there's about 9 different segments. So you can say, I work here, but I struggle with my finances. Who's a great financial person that can help me manage my money? It could be that you know someone in the office that's really diligent when it comes to their finances. Or it could be that you go online and you find somebody who has whatever accolades that they have from a financial perspective that can give you that advice. There's a difference of, in this specific example, a difference between going, so such and such a person is a boss and they've set up a really good strategy in terms of how they become a financially free entrepreneur. I want them to be my mentor, versus going, I'm in debt, I have no idea how to manage money. I need to find a finance coach that can help me save, invest, and all of those types of things. And so if I can bring in the aspect of a coach is, think about a soccer team or whatever sports team. A coach is that person that trains with you on a day-to-day basis to move you over the finish line. So sometimes you can look at a goal and say, I actually can't do this if I have a mentor and we're only speaking once a month or once a quarter. I need someone that's going to keep me accountable on a day-to-day basis. And I need someone that's going to give me a very specific action plan for things I need to execute daily, hold me accountable. Then that's the person that you pay. Like, coaches don't work for free, but you do the work and you ultimately get over the finish line. And there's a definite period for that, so it's not like going, I want to be a fantastic broadcaster, and so now Bridget is my mentor and we're in this relationship for a couple of years. It's me going, by the end of the second quarter, this is where I need to be, and a coach is helping me work through that and getting over that particular finish line.
And there's a sense of
have you out there and say, sometimes we want these exceptional, amazing executive mentors, but they really just don't have the time. And if somebody doesn't have the time to pour into you, accept that and find somebody else that can give you the time, because at the end of the day, you do want that value exchange. And if somebody's constantly, postponing or delaying or canceling your appointments, that's not fruitful and it's wasting your time as well. So for mentees, you are also allowed to walk away from a relationship. Just once you found a mentor doesn't mean that you have to be bound to this person because they're amazing. They can be amazing and very busy, and that's okay.
Amazing from far. And keep them far away from yourself. And sometimes also I find, you mentioned social media, and I think you can almost have an informal, loose relationship with someone, even, in a different space, a different continent, on social media. Just build that relationship and build that open channel of communication where you can extract the knowledge and the resource that you require.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of stuff that we can actually learn via theory or observation. So
Yeah.
for example, I wrote a book on mentorship titled My Hall of Mentors, Lessons Learned Along a Journey of Success. And part of that was my experiences, so looking back and realizing my grandmother was a mentor, even though I didn't approach her. My parents were mentors, even though I didn't ask them officially to be mentors. But equally, the first job I had and mentors I met through Miss SA, a business partner that I had, those were all people that I learned from. But then equally, there was autobiographies that I read. There are TED Talks that I've watched. There are people whose lives I've observed from a distance, and I read newsletters that they put out or podcasts that they have, and there's lots of learning that you can have from that. And then I also have something that I enjoy, which is called the download, where if somebody can't mentor you but they can do lunch for an hour, you go in for that hour, you do a complete download of everything you need to know, and you implement. And sometimes that's all you need, and it works just as well.
You're coming back. I hope you picked up some tips in as far as your relationship with your mentor. For myself and Nziki and our team, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It's time for us to make way for Aldrin, who's going to be here at 3 o'clock.